Hey, today we've got a new major order, but boy is it tough. We'll also talk about a possible Constitution rifle buff. Arrowhead has also responded regarding the new war bond, claiming it was already in the works before Chaos Divers was talked about, and there's much more to discuss. If you can't support the channel, please tap the like button below at any point and subscribe with notifications on. Let's start with the newest major order. Like I've said at the start, this is one tough order to complete. We've got a lot to do. As you can see right here, we have to liberate Matar Bay, hold Grocrux, and Pantheon on the Terminid side, while also defending against 5 attacks from the Automatons. I don't even know where to begin. I'd say going to Matar Bay and liberating this planet as soon as possible would be a great idea. And if a planet is being attacked on the Terminid side, we can then pause on liberating Matar Bay so that we can then defend the planets on the Bug side. We have a total of 5 days to complete this as I'm making this video. And without a doubt, the developers at Arrowhead, or more so Joel, have definitely made this major order major. I don't even think we've had such a major order like this before, and it's tough to tell whether or not we'll fail or succeed. I think it's going to take some time and some good coordination in order to complete this. I'd also like to see what you all think about this, so post a response below and let me know your overall thoughts. Are we going to complete this major order, or are we going to fail it? Also, do you believe my strategy is good or not? If not, let me know what you recommend we do. I personally think we might come close to completing it, but that all depends on how we plan our attacks. If we're sporadically going all over the place and not defending the planets properly, then we'll have a tough time. Like I've said, I think liberating Matar Bay first, or at least attacking it first, would be a great plan. Then if we need to, we should absolutely head over to the Terminid side to defend planets. And once we're done with that, we can swap back to Matar Bay. So again, post a response below in the comments and let me know. We also have a major order briefing message from the Arrowhead folks over on the Helldivers 2 Discord that says, with another Liberty Day behind us and an appropriate appreciation of the great gift of managed democracy sufficiently honored, we once again return to the Galactic War. Multiple strategic priorities have arisen, all of high priority. Decryption of confidential data recovered from automaton strongholds has identified a high security database, thought to contain key intel regarding the Jet Brigade. Simultaneously, recent Terminid activity has exposed the Terminid research preserve to threat of external disruption. This security breach must be rectified immediately. Finally, we have reason to believe the automatons are planning an imminent territorial expansion. We cannot allow the automatons to expand their territory further. Well, as you can see, the Automatons have key intel about the Jet Brigade. Not entirely sure what they could possibly have that would help us. Maybe they're planning another attack, and whatever the key intel is might suggest what they have their eyes set on next. If so, that's going to help us incredibly so that we can defend against their attacks. So that's good news, but the not so good news is that the Automatons are planning to expand, and we cannot allow that to happen. This information could also go hand in hand with the Jet Brigade's key intel. Possibly they're planning on using the Jet Brigade to expand even more. The last time we had this happen, or last time they did this, it was tough for us to defend against their attacks, and we were losing planets left and right until we stopped them at Marfark about a week ago. So I suggest we figure out that key intel as soon as possible, because it might suggest what they're going to do next. We can't have another attack like that, man, because, well, we'll surely lose more planets, and the Automatons could expand further towards Super Earth. And finally, the Terminids. About a week ago, we chose to liberate Laseth instead of defending the Terminid attacks recently. And it appears we're sort of paying for it since the Terminid research preserve is now a threat and could potentially be open to attacks if we're not careful with the Grocrux planet. So far, we've got the Bay planet almost liberated, so we should be good there. But you never know what will happen, and it's best to be prepared than not to be prepared. We are now going to talk about the missing Liberty Day items. If you were active when the Liberty Day major order was going on the 26th, then you should have received your items. However, if you weren't active at the time, you should have received the armor and rifle today. But there appears to be an issue with a few players out there. The community manager Baskinator responded to a player on the Helldivers 2 Discord and wrote, players registering after the event may need to reach out to support if they are missing the items. Now let's say that's the case for you. What you can do, as Baskinator suggests, is head over to support and submit a ticket. In order to do this, all you have to do is Google Arrowhead Game Studio support, then click on the second link, which will be a link to arrowhead.zendesk.com. At this point, you'll go to the top right corner where it says submit a request. You'll want to fill out all the required information, tell them the situation, choose the platform you're on, and enter your account ID, which can be found in the settings when you pause the game. Then submit, and that's it. You should receive a message in a day or two. It solely depends on how many tickets they have to go through. I hope this helps if you haven't received your items just yet, whether that's from the 26th or the 28th, which is today, of course, and that's how you do it. If you haven't received your items just yet, there's also another reason why you haven't received your rewards at the current moment is due to Arrowhead currently sending them out, so it might take some time. And that could be why you're not able to see the rewards just yet. The support team member B Vitamin gave word on this by posting the following in the Discord. If you're still waiting for your Liberty Day gifts, we've started a new payout job that's rolling it out to every account in existence that doesn't already have it, and it's running as we speak. With that being said, you should see the rewards today, but if you don't, then go over to the support site like I mentioned a few seconds ago and submit your ticket there. This right here should help you all out if you have not seen the rifle or the armor pop up in your Super Destroyer. Also, not only did the community manager Baskinator respond to that post, but she also responded to a player who wanted to know if there was any correlation or nod to the Chaos Divers with the newest war bond called the Truth Enforcers. Apparently, they had this all planned out before the Chaos Divers was a thing. The proof can be seen here where she wrote this. We had this one in the works for a long time, but we realized it would definitely appeal to the Chaos Divers. Last time when I brought up a similar topic like this, she did give a nod to you all in the PlayStation blog, but they had this war bond planned out for quite some time. Either way, it's cool to see that we're receiving a black and red theme that matches the Chaos Divers out there. I do plan on reviewing the Truth Enforcers War Bond as soon as possible once it arrives on the 31st, so keep an eye out for that video by either subscribing with notifications on or by checking my channel out once the War Bond is released. Okay, with that information aside, we do have sort of a status update on the Constitution Rifle. I know there was quite a few out here who were disappointed with it, yet I get that it's meant to be a ceremonial weapon and some have suggested not to take it too seriously. However, if there's enough demand, the Arrowhead developers might possibly buff it, whether that's with more damage or by adding a stripper clip. The support team member B Vitamin posted this. I'm sure that players want more damage and a stripper clip will reach the team via sentiment collected by the community managers, given how many people are saying it, and they can decide if their workload ever becomes more manageable if they want to do it. The question I have for you all is, would you prefer them to just add a stripper clip, or would you prefer them to buff the damage and add similar armor penetration just like the Senator has? Or hell, would you like it if they did both? Like, let me know how you all feel about it. I did post a poll in the community section on my YouTube channel, and a good portion of you voted that it's completely fine as it is. There was a total of 64% that voted yes, and 33% of you voted no, that it's not powerful enough and it should receive a buff. Personally, I think it's fine where it is. It gives us a weapon that can be used on difficulties ranging from 1 to 7, but anything higher, it could practically be useless. Unless you have a full team with Constitution rifles, then at that point it can actually be powerful. I know that a few of you have brought up a good point that even if the Constitution rifle is old, it should also have the same armor penetration as the Senator, because that's also an older type of weapon. We are going to continue here and talk about the Rocket Striders. Over on Reddit, the community manager Twinbeer responded to a question suggesting the Rocket Striders might be using the wrong rocket type, as mentioned in this player's post right here. The community manager responded with, "Yo, no problem tagging me. Sadly, I can only reply to a fraction of the pings, DMs, etc., but doing it is never a problem. Is this something that still applies a couple of patches later? Sorry I didn't see this earlier. If so, I could fairly easy check this and dig up a reply. I prefer not to though if it's not a thing anymore." Then about 2 days later, he was able to get an answer on this and posted this in response to the player. Okay, I got a response from one of the leads on this. He wrote more or less an essay, which was very kind of him. I'll do a TLDR with the most interesting parts. We'll dig a little and see what we can find. It looks as if the unit has a different look when it's being fired compared to when being mounted, so we'll try to have those align better. In terms of damage and effect, things seem correct. We've made minor tweaks for it, but we'll look into this more properly soonish, both in terms of details, but also in wider context. What should this? and other units be, what should be considered chaffed, how tanky or deadly should they be, which units should be able to ragdoll, etc. Our goal is to make things fun, fair, and challenging. This is definitely on our radar. Thanks for the input. So far, everything is correct with the Rocket Strider's rockets, so nothing there is messed up or tarnished. They didn't make a mistake, which is great news. I honestly don't have any issues with the Rocket Striders. I think they're perfectly fine. Yet I know a few of you out here absolutely hate them. With that in mind, they have plans to look into all and see what should be done in terms of ragdolling, what enemies are absolutely tanked, and all that, as you have just seen. I think this is some great information for those of you who wanted to know more about the Rocket Striders, and I hope that helps. Speaking of Twinbeard, he responded to a post about a bug that happened yesterday. Apparently, there's quite a few players out here who lost samples, and I mean all of their samples. This player right here wrote, "Yesterday I logged in, and I noticed that I lost all samples collected on Liberty Day. I'm pretty sure that's been the case because I'm just one module away from maxing the ship." Then Twinbeard, the community manager, saw this post and wrote, "Hi, yup, it's a bug. We've already fixed it and will compensate those who've lost samples. Sorry about that." Let's say you've lost the samples you've collected on Liberty Day. You should receive samples sometime soon. If it pops up on your Super Destroyer, do not fret when it happens, as it's supposed to be rewarded for those who have lost the samples. Overall, it's awesome to see how quickly Arrowhead was able to hotfix this exact bug right here without us knowing. Again, it's awesome to see them do that and compensate us all who did lose samples. Okay, with the news out of the way, I do want to go over your suggested loadouts from the last video. If you have not done so, submit a suggestion down below and I might just feature your loadout in the next video. We've got a loadout suggestion by BlueJ9681. Loadout suggestion that he preferred us to use. Apparently it's called "I Can't Believe It's Not World War I." The armor, he suggests, I guess any armor that doesn't look too sci-fi and has a gas mask. I have one that's perfectly for it, as you can see right here. Now, the recommended primary is the Constitution rifle that I've tested out recently. It's great against hive guards, taking about 3 shots. The brute commanders take 2 shots to the head unless it's an alpha commander, then it'll be 3 shots to the head. 4 shots for the bile spewers and 2 shots for the nursing spewers. The secondary is the Senator pistol, which actually goes well with this loadout due to its armor penetration that can destroy alpha and brood commanders' heads, as well as being great to use on hive guards. Not to mention you can actually take out a bile titan with it, but the bile titan will need to be damaged beforehand. As for grenades, we're going to be using the thermite grenades on chargers, bug holes if you throw it deep enough, and can take out basic enemies as well as bigger ones like the bile titans. These stratagems are going to be the orbital gas strike for confusing targets and applying damage while they're dazed. We're also going to be using anti-tank mines for chargers. Thankfully, in the recent patch, they've made it so that the mines do not activate on smaller targets, which is great. The third stratagem is anything that doesn't have any lasers or a railgun, as you've mentioned, so I chose Eagle Airstrike. I felt it was perfect for this, and I use it to close up bug holes and kill enemies. Lastly, it's either the MG206 or an HMG emplacement. I went with the emplacement as it was another stratagem that felt perfect for this loadout. Overall, this loadout is going to receive a 5 out of 5 golden medals for creativity and the title that you named it. Awesome loadout, and I had a blast using it. With everything out of the way, this is your Helldivers 2 news. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured, comment down below and you just might be shown at the end of the video. The first comment is by KKO3NR. Not too sure how to say that correctly, but hope I did. You said, "4 automatons break into my super destroyer, what the devil?" As I grab my powdered wig and Constitution rifle, blow a golf ball size hole through the first bot, he's dead on the spot. Draw my Senator on the second man, miss him entirely because it's smooth bore, and nails the neighbor's rover guard dog. I have to resort to the airburst RPG mounted at the top of the stairs loaded with grape shot. Tally ho, lads! The grape shot shreds 2 bots in the blast, the sound and extra shrapnel sets off bot drops. Fix bayonet and charge the last terrified Repscalian. He bleeds out, waiting on the drops to arrive since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up, just as the founding fathers intended. I'm not too sure what that's about, but that's incredible story that you've set. The second comment is by ZZ Vinny ZZ. This hate mad about this rifle is so unjustified. It literally stated it a very old rifle. IDK, what people are expecting from an old gun from World War I to be used in year 21. Plus, it's given to you guys for free, use it or not. you don't have to be mad at it. It's like giving you a flintlock rifle. Sure, you can take it to war, but why would you? It's still a fun weapon though. Absolutely agree with you. I have a blast using it. I'm not expecting too much from it, or at least at the time I didn't expect too much from it, but I agree. And the last comment is by Warhawk14145. I hope they add a stripper clip reload like the revolver speed loader, so you can reload the whole clip once it's completely empty. That'd be awesome. And another great suggestion. I agree with that one at least, you know. Maybe we don't need a damage buff, but a stripper clip sounds great. Anyways, thank you guys for commenting. If you haven't already, make sure you comment below, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I notice a lot of you are not subscribed. I'm going to mention this every single time until all of you are subscribed. So subscribe now. It's completely free. It's not going to charge you. Make sure you do it, and I will love you forever. You know, we'll probably play together. Maybe I'll make a time where we all can just play together, or at least I can play with some of you. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for commenting and all that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.